Hello, my beautiful souls. It is I, Nova Ravenswood, and thank you for clicking, and I hope you enjoy this episode. So today is kind of like a part 2, I guess, because I did start to do my recommendations on my previous video and realized that there's no way in heck that I could fit my book recommendations in there. I did not anticipate to talk about incense as long as I did, and I truly do love the podcast that I did recommend, so that was fun as well. So today is book recommendations. Now, the reason I'm kind of going a little different is because my son is home, so I can't do too much witchery in the kitchen without him running through naked and screaming and whatever. He's 3, you know. So either way, before I get into this, I am not being paid to advertise or market anybody or anything that I mention. So there's that. I am doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And honestly, I think that there's such a plethora of information out there for new or interested seeking magical people that it can be extremely overwhelming, including for the younger generation. Because there's the old stuff, there's kind of that middle stuff in the late 90s, mid 2000s, and then we get to here, and it's drastically changed because I own a lot of books going all the way back to the 70s, all the way up to current. So I do very much so do my work. I do my studies. I make sure that my magic that I bring to you is something that is beneficial and useful for you, or that can be tweaked to work for you. So let's say if you don't get along with rosemary, then we can always find you something for a better replacement that works with you and your energy. You know what I mean? So either way, I can't do any of that until my son gets back in school and this 3 feet of snow melts out of my life forever and ever and ever. I truly hate the snow, but it is making for a lot of wonderful rain / snow water for all of my jars that need to be full for plant feedings and full moon rituals and all that good stuff. So, I guess it's been kind of beneficial, so whatever. So let's get into a book recommendation, because I already know that this is probably going to be about a 20-minute video. I will try to keep it there, so let's start. So I'm going to start with something a little more simple. So I was kind of skimming around and looking at the very now small section at Barnes & Nobles in Tri-Cities, and they went from like a huge section to this tiny section where the self-help takes up like 3 rows. I don't know. It's ridiculous, but kind of felt a little cheated, but I really did dig, and I did find one that I was pleased with this last round. So if you are on a budget, before I do get truly into this, if you are on a budget like me, what I do is once a month, when I can afford it between my major bills, I get myself 1 book. 1. I used to be able to do like 3 to 5 books, hence why I have a library, but that is not plausible nor responsible for me to do at this moment, no matter how much I want to own every book I come across. Either way, so giving yourself kind of that allowance to seek a book that resonates with you, or, you know, sit down and kind of skim through, see if it's going to work for you before you spend the, you know, $20 or so on it. You can always buy Audible and go that route, which I will talk about, because there is one book on this recommendation that I could not afford the paper version. Like, I thought was ridiculous. But I do realize I want the paper version, but that'll have to come later. So that's my own personal crap. So either way, you can do that route, which they do have a plethora of books going from witchery to cards to, I mean, everything you can think of. And now with people being able to self-publish, there are a lot of good ones, and there are a lot of, you know, so just be careful when you go that route. Same if you buy it through your Google or App Store, which I do as well. That's kind of how I got started buying books, because I prefer paper, but they're cheaper that way. So either way, so the first book is, now if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I do not like the word prayer. Growing up in a very strict Christian home back when I was very young, and my parents were putting on this face, but whatever, it's a whole other story. Either way, this is a book of pagan prayers by, I cannot say this name, Ceisiwr Serith. I'll have the name in the description box for you. I don't know how to say this, but it is a whole lot of awesome, and a few that are just like not for me, but you know, not every book has everything you want to be interested in. So there is a lot. It gives you a whole section on gods and goddesses. It gives you, a glossary of deities. Sorry, I always say that wrong. And offerings. And then there is a whole section on My Lady Hecate. And then there's Loki. There's something for every single god and goddess that I could possibly think of in here. And you've got your daily prayers, you've got your ritual prayers, you've got your coven ones, and you have your solitary ones, which you can tweak the coven ones to work with your solitary practice, because I'm going to assume that most of you are not in a coven. I don't prefer to go that route, but maybe in the future I'll be the head of a coven. But for now, I am solitary. And I mean, I guess I kind of practice with you guys, whoever, clicks on me. Whatever. I do want to in the future, just not right now. I just don't have the time to be able to dedicate one full evening. Life happens, and you know what I mean. So either way, this is a nice little book to have. You can change the words. You can. They're written by a bazillion different people. I like that it is like that. So you've got a whole lot of different like poetry type kinds, and I don't know why I said type kinds. Sorry about that. But you know what I mean. It's very set in the fact that it resonates with every god and goddess. It really does. And I like that I'm able to tweak words and change things around the way that I want it. I'm borrowing the work in my own practice, and I'm solitary, so I guess it's not really plagiarism, is it? Probably. But as long as you don't post these things without giving the proper credit, just make sure you give credit where it's due, because karma will come after you. Mom jokes. So that is my first one. I had seen it sitting over there haunting me, and I knew I was going to talk about it when I wrote a script a couple of weeks ago, and my son demolished that script, but whatever. Either way, it is a unique collection of nearly 500 prayers written to fulfill the needs of contemporary pagans and others from a variety of traditions. A book of pagan prayers is an essential devotional for all seeking to connect to the divine. After an informative introduction to why to pray, author Ceisiwr explores how to pray through words, posture, dance, and music. He explains how to prepare for and compose prayers, how to address and honor the deities, and how to conclude a prayer. Gathered from many traditions, including Celtic, Germanic, Egyptian, Greek, and Zoroastrian, are prayers for all occasions, purposes, and seasons. For the family and household, times of day, month, and year, life passages, thanksgiving, grace, and petition. Whether offering a blessing, celebrating a new life, safeguarding travel, or honoring the season, readers will discover timeless pagan prayers for worship and spiritual connection. So I do retract that last statement. For some reason, was under the assumption it was written by others, but good for this person if they really wrote it all, because that's a lot. So either way, I really think it's something to have in the arsenal, something you can play with and make your own. I have not had this book for very long, but I have already borrowed quite a bit from it. So, all right. So before I shoot into the two majors, we'll shoot over to this one. So for my young generation who has clicked on me and decided to listen to me yammer and yammer, this book, it wasn't just the coloring that popped out to me and the artistry, which I really do like, and I really do kind of judge a book by its cover. Ha! Another mom joke. But when I was sitting there kind of flipping through, I really do like the way that she wrote this. Now, if you have in your arsenal the Inner Witch, which is also a very good thing to have, book to have, this one honestly was a little more speakful to myself because I wanted to connect to fire, which is the element that I prefer to use in my practice quite often. And I wanted to learn other ways to connect to fire and also how to invoke earth and air and water as well. So Gabriela Herstick is a wonderful young lady, and this is Bewitching the Elements. Now, my camera sucks on my phone, so I can't really get a great shot of how pretty this is, but it's like purple and pink and blue, and then the symbols of the elements, and then the all-seeing eye. I really liked it. So either way, I have read almost all of it, and I have skimmed through. Now, I kind of did skip ahead because I have been doing a lot of shadow work while I've been gone from YouTube. So that is going to be for a whole nother video, and why I truly feel like the younger generation really should do shadow work before really deep diving into witchcraft, because understanding yourself and your bad self and why you do the things that you do, whether it be mental or physical, whatever the case, it really is mind-opening and scary as shit to admit to your faults and those qualities in yourself that you really tried to hide from others, except for those ones that you truly love that know that side of you. So we all have it, even the most perfect of people. And so I really like that she brings up shadow work in this. I like the way that she explains it, as her young self should explain it, in a way that you guys can understand it without being terrified of it. But the whole first half of the book is understanding the elements, rituals on the elements, and all that good stuff. So her back introduction is pretty short, so I'll go over that quickly. Sorry, still sick. So empower yourself by connecting to the 5 elements through meditation, breath work, tarot, crystals, rituals, and journaling, which I do a lot of journaling. It's the new age of enlightenment, and more people are embracing witchcraft and other spiritual practices to tap into their inner strength and resilience while aligning with something larger than themselves. The tools that Gabriela Herstick offers in Bewitching the Elements will help you connect to the universe and your inner light. Committing to a path that serves our authentic selves is a radical act When we do this work alongside nature by turning to the elements, we find a map back to our intuitive and energetic wisdom. So I really do like that. That's short, sweet, to the point, and you really can get an understanding whether or not you want to buy this book. How much was she? She was $15 on the dot, 20 in Canada. So if you are interested in understanding the elements and respecting those and possibly working with a specific element or all of them, I really like the way that she explains it. So that is definitely a good book to shoot for. All right, I'm at 15 minutes, so let's see how quickly I can get through her. So I'm going to start with Miss Stephanie Rose Bird. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I also practice hoodoo along with witchcraft. I do tie those two together, and I love that this woman is a hoodoo practitioner and a witch as well. So she doesn't quite align with those negative connotations that voodoo has attached and will probably always have more than witchcraft. I truly like this book, and it's supposed to be for a whole year, but of course, here I am, stuck at home, being a stay-at-home mama. I'm almost done. And I had to stop at a few parts because you do need quite a bit of things, and I just posted on my Insta last week. I think I finally got them, which I totally forgot I even ordered the lodestones because they took so damn long. I don't even understand why. I paid like an extra $5, but whatever. Either way, they finally came, and it came with a handwritten note and all that good jazz. So if you are interested in hoodoo, I truly believe that this is a great way to go about it because she does hone a lot of witch... What's the word I'm looking for here? Witch vibes to her, along with our threefold rule, whereas in traditional hoodoo voodoo, they see it as if the justice defines the means. No, I'm saying that wrong. Then go ahead and do it either way. So if the person really did F you up or whatever, then to attack them with some hardcore hoodoo voodoo will not come back to you, but it depends on your viewing. I believe that everything comes back to us, whether we want it to or not. So, and I find that out the older and older and older I get. So trust me when I say, if you're watching me and you are in your 20s, start saying sorry now. Either way, this is a great book because it is a study book. And it is meant for a year-long study of hoodoo voodoo. So it is almost like a year and a day for witchcraft, but with hoodoo. So the only thing, like I was saying, is one, you definitely need at least 2 pairs of lodestones, at least to me. She says 1, I say 2. But there are quite a few things that you need to have in your hoodoo arsenal to be able to proceed with this book. And she makes it to where it is easy to thrift for quite a few of them. If not, she does put references in the back of the book. And since this is a very current book, I believe last year, most of these websites should be up and running still. Yeah, 2020. So this is a very new book. So either way, she does let you, give you information where to find real lodestones and the things that you need to acquire. Again, it took me a little bit to be able to do that. I did kind of jump ahead, waiting on the products that I needed for other things, and kind of went with what I already had since I do have a lot. And then, surprisingly enough, I needed more. So that took me a while to acquire over time before I could actually use this book and bring it to you. So, like I said, I'm almost done. But if you want to do it one day at a time and do it over the year, go ahead and do so. That is on you. All right. So everybody that has ever watched any of my videos knows that Miss Silver Ravenwolf, sorry, I always want to put an S in there, is my go-to person for witchcraft. She is old, but she does stay with the times. And this book that I'm introducing to you has been rewritten, but not in every aspect. There are words and things that you're just like, tapes, CDs. You can kind of laugh and chuckle, but besides those little minor fractions, everything in here is still very relevant now. So if you are down to do a year and a day with her, to ride a silver broomstick, I think every witch should start with, including a young witch or somebody that's interested in witchcraft, because this is going to give you a little bit of everything, and you can honestly figure out whether or not it's for you without buying 500 books. I mean, really, being honest. But that's not where this one stops. You could go the year and a day with Miss Silver here. And then she ended up doing a second that kind of goes back to back with this one. But it's not tagged as book number 2, and this is not tagged as book number 1. So it really is kind of, I mean, you could start with the other one and do this one. But since I just bought the other one, I did not want to do them backwards. Now, this book can be used this one can be used for the seasoned witch like myself if you want to do a crash course, refresher course on some things. You can skip a few things if you're already like, no, I'm good. I already got that. I'm down. I'm good on that. But there are a few things where you're just like, I learned that when I was 12. Yeah, I totally did that. Totally forgot about that. I really should start using that more. So there are very useful things in here for any level of witch. And she does make that known in her introduction, and I do like that. But book number 2 is to stir a magic cauldron. And I actually found a first edition from a long time ago, like the year I was born. But I was really happy. It's like brand spanking new. Like it's the original cover and everything. But you can find ones with a modernized cover, because I do believe that she has rewritten that one as well, because she is so extremely popular. Like on this cover, it was not the original cover, and it says clearly over 300,000 books sold worldwide. So, I mean, it really is telling you that this is something that a lot of witches have used at the beginning of their path. But, you know, like I said, I wanted a crash course and I want a refresher, or just learn some things I didn't learn at the beginning of my stardom to witchcraft. So, those 2 books are awesome as well. So, that is going to be my conclusion for this round of my book recommendations. I will leave the titles and the authors linked down below. I do not know if I will get in trouble for this. I don't know if it's copywriting or doing it without permission. I guess I will find out the hard way if it is. If it is, and if my video does get taken down, I will probably just redo this video with my hair better, because I'm about to dye it, so I can't wash it. So, hi YouTube, this is 100% me. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something new, and go ahead and start looking at things a little more angled towards the beginner witch. And definitely go backwards in time, and don't get stuff so new, because the old stuff really does have things that the new stuff really doesn't have. So definitely hit up your used bookstores and thrift stores. Like I found Candle Magic by, oh shit, what's its name? I'm drawing a blank. Either way, it is currently sold right now for $14.99, and I found it at Goodwill in a tiny town for $1.99. So you really just have to look hard. Either way, there are a million different places to support in these times of need and help. So try not to go straight to Barnes & Nobles and to fancy bookstores. Most fancy bookstores in your local towns won't have these books anyway. They will have crystal crap and plants, but that's about it. So either way, enjoy your day. And like I said, I will be coming at you every day until you guys just start pushing subscribe and giving me a thumbs up. And leaving some comments on what you would like to see. All right. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day and toodles.